What's going on, everybody? Troy Rawlings here. Welcome to Troy Rawlings Live Morning Edition. It's about 7:44 a.m. here on the West Coast in Los Angeles, California. About 10:44 a.m. on the East Coast. How's everybody? How you feeling? Pitch, what's going on, everybody? Lisa, Hollywood Comic, what's going? Welcome. Y'all know what it is. I do the Troy Rawlings Live Morning Edition. What up? I do the Troy Rawlings Live Morning Edition all about love. Why, Troy? Why, Negro? Why? I tell you why. One of my missions in life is to help men and women communicate better in love. What do you mean? Overall, not just relationships, not just your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your man, your lady. But I believe we should treat people like the ladies and gentlemen that they are. We see them that they could be. We shouldn't be calling everybody bitches and niggas and higgers and hoes and hoes and, you know, I rebel. What's good? So while this is not a quote unquote religious broadcast, we get spiritually deep sometimes, but it's all in love. So the whole month of June, we've been talking about self-love. And you can go back and catch the replays on my Troy Rawlings Live YouTube channel. But today we're doing part 3. It was a 3-part piece we was doing from healing from a broken heart. Today we're going to close it out with part 3. And we're going to talk about, what up, Ira? And we're going to talk about healing from a broken heart. How long can it take? How long can it take to heal from a broken heart? All right, we're going to do some quick breath work. Something's going on with the internet here, so I don't have my normal Zen music playing. But also because I'm doing a shortened piece, we're not going to do the birthdays today. And I'm getting better at saying birth, because I'm from Baltimore, and then birth starts sounding like birth. It just happens sometimes. I'm from around the way, so I have to put on my, as Ira Bell knows, I have to put on my radio cap and try to do my broadcasting tab and say, we won't be doing the birthdays today. But then people are like, why do you say birthdays like that? Because I'm very intentional. Carpe diem. Big love to everybody who came in town and was in town for the Sheen Awards. Sheen Magazine came in town for the BET Awards. Shout out to some of my media partners, Sheen Magazine. Latest copy of Sheen Magazine on stands now. And you can go back and check out old articles of Dear Troy and some of the articles I have written in it. Big shout out to Reach LA Angels. My new blog is out on there, Reach LA Angels, and it's a good one. Talking about day dating. I know some of y'all like the nighttime, night and day is the right time. Oh, sorry. Just start going to Ray Charles for no reason. Okay. Breathe a little bit before we get underway. Make sure it's not too loud, because I got Spiral. I won't say their name because Instagram like, who you playing? All right, let's do some quick breathing. Inhale, exhale. It's not really breath work. I just like to, some of y'all been up for a while, but y'all haven't walked and moved, and I've been up for a minute. And I talk about last night as well, because we had a ball last night. Big shout out to Lance and Delicia with Tasty W's. I went out with my folks last night, and we had a good time. It was a day party that turned into an evening party. So thank y'all for inviting me out. Sometimes it's good to break the monotony, and they some good folks to go out with. But I'm gonna tell y'all about something that happened that's very interesting and woke me up. All right, relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. I'll tell you about it in a second. Relax your shoulders. If you're driving or if you're walking, you shouldn't be looking at the phone anymore. I keep telling y'all that. Don't walk around looking at the phone. I need to get Chapstick as a sponsor, because Chapstick, without y'all, I'm going to tag Chapstick. What's up, Los? I'm going to tag Chapstick in this, because I'm going to give shout out to Chapstick, because y'all going to watch. I'm going to get a lifetime supply of Chapstick, and I'm going to be happy. Chapstick. Found out about Chapstick when I was in middle school or high school, one of the two, and it was My whole life changed because of chapstick. Okay. Some of y'all right now are looking very, I ain't gonna mention any names. Good. I was about to mention ashy lipped actors. That's terrible. Some of y'all looking very non-moisturized. Get yourself together. Get your life straight. All right. See, this is what happens. Let's breathe. All right. We're going to inhale through our nose. We're going to fill our diaphragm more than just, if y'all sing, diaphragms, belly, low. Feel like you about to take a deep breath to go underwater. And we try to fill your diaphragm, not just your chest. Inhale, deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through our mouth. Inhale. Let's inhale. Love, joy, peace. Exhale. Fear, doubt, anger. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale through your nose. Big one. Exhale. All right. I'm not trying to get jacked up by Instagram because I'm jamming. All right. Quick prayer. Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for waking us up with sound minds, activity of all our limbs, all our senses working intact, divine health. Bless everybody that's tuned in. Bless everybody that will watch it later. Let us have an awesome day today as we close out the month of June. And thank you. In your precious name we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. All right. Let's get to it. Like I said, I'm not going to do the birthdays today because the internet is acting a little kooky. So I don't want to have a bunch of issues going in and out and this, that, and other. I'm just trying to close it out. So we can, I say close it out, but I plan on doing 52 weeks. So we're wrapping up the month of June, 5 days a week. I try to do at least 5 days a week. We've been pretty consistent on 5 days a week. The time may fluctuate, but the replay is real. I was starting I was like, all right, 6 a.m. to 7. Now with these hours I've been keeping to try to finish up this, my content studio and, Barber's Suite, this whole, we call it NBA empire that we got going on in Burbank, California. So, little spot, but it's been taking a lot of work to do some of the stuff, but I'm grateful and I'm thankful. What are you grateful and thankful for today? Okay. Today, y'all, we are talking about healing from heartbreak. This is part 3. And today we're going to talk about how long can it take to heal from heartbreak. Now, before I go into that, this is what I wanted to say about last night. Big shout out to Lance. My guy Lance Watterson and his wife Delicia have Tasty W's. Follow at Tasty W's. Hey, what's going on? We go out, and it's a place in Long Beach, Olay, Club O or something in Long Beach, and they have a R&B like day party vibe. So much fun. It's like the R&B when you listen to R&B, and they got the balloon microphones that's going around, and everybody's singing. Fellas, it was 40 to 1. Go out, and you saw that some of the guys there with their girls, and they were just like, first they was like, then Can We Talk or some old R&B come on, and they smiled a little bit, and then it was a vibe. We had a ball. Young brother comes up with the dreads. I didn't know how old he was, because you can't tell when the guy got long dreads. He's like, man, I just wanted to come over to y'all. Me and Lance sitting next to each other. Man, I just wanted to come over to y'all. And, I know a lot of young dudes don't do this. They don't give the OGs respect. So I wanted to come over to y'all and give y'all respect, man. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. He's like, man, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, man. I was like, I saw the old OGs over here and the brothers, they chilling. But I had to give y'all some respect. I got like a polo on and some jeans. Lance got his like a New York Yankees cap on, polos. We sit. And when he walked away, I was like, I guess that's it, huh? He's like, who you calling OG? I was like, I don't know, maybe the salt and pepper in my mustache. I was like, we always talk about how good we look, how good we feel. Oh, you look good. You look good. 51? I wouldn't think it's 51, Troy. Until a 29-year-old comes up. It's like, hey, OG. I love it. I love it. I'm just learning to step into it, to be the OG. That's one of the reasons I'm doing stuff like this, to spread something that will live beyond me in the cyberverse universe. It helps me build up because I have a few more books I want to. I'm never going to stop writing. Journalist, author. We got books coming. But I got a few more books that I would like to get done this year, in the next 12 months. So this is also helping to prompt me in the writing and the Sheen and the Reach LA Angels, the blogs. Do the thing. That's a message. Do the thing. The BET, if you didn't get a chance to watch the BET Awards, I've just been watching clips. That's the awesome thing about social media too. I've been watching clips. Do the thing, y'all. Whatever you're thinking about doing, thinking you have time. There are a lot of things that I'm doing now. People are like, why are you doing that right now? I was like, oh, you do so much. What are you doing right now? One day I looked up, and thank goodness for Facebook Memories too. Facebook Memories popped up something about like 10 years ago when I had the LA Radio Now, the radio station, the brick and mortar here I was doing. And I was somewhere talking about 10 years from now, 2016, 10 years from now, which will be now, I'll have my restaurant somewhere where I can be. And I always said when I open my restaurant, because I love to cook, I won't have to make money off of it. So I want to be in that position where it's a labor of love, not I have to do it. And but 10 years is going to come and go, y'all. So whatever your idea is, start now. Start today. If you see nothing else, get this message, start today. The other part might not have been for you, but that's for everybody. Start today. Okay. I might not get through all of this today, but if not, I'll roll it into tomorrow. So we're talking about healing from heartbreak. And part 3 is how long can it take to heal from heartbreak? There's no single timeline for healing from heartbreak. Research and mental health experts generally note the most intense emotional pain starts to subside within 6 to 8 weeks, while feeling a sense of forward momentum often takes 3 to 6 months. That's from TikTok. That's from Miss Amy Chan on TikTok. However, healing from a breakup is not a linear process. What does that mean, Troy? And the timeline depends heavily on some core factors. That's some therapy den. Let me tell you something. I know people who, my father was in his 60s before he passed. He passed away in his 60s, early, untimely, from acute leukemia. We got to take care of our health, y'all. And some people may say, oh, some things are doable, some things happen, some things you can't foresee. But my father had some bad health habits, alcoholism, drugs. I'm trying to drift away from drinking, especially like yesterday. Day drinking. What is happening? I'm a lightweight. Thank God I'm a lightweight. Listen to your body as you get older. Hey, what's going on? But in his 60s, he still had pain from things that happened to him in his childhood. Still had some brokenness there. Some resentment, some heavy regrets. Still heartbroken about his relationship and his love for my mom. And he was remarried. Still hurting. Still heartbroken. Still holding on. How long it takes to heal from heartbreak depends heavily on the person. We're going to talk about the other factors right now. But I love the fact that it says it's not a linear process. Linear. And for those that asked before, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I play one on TV. No, I'm not a psychiatrist or therapist. I will have a degree. I don't know when. We're working. But for 22 years, I've been talking about sex, love, relationships, helping men and women communicate better in love. That's just a mission. It's just one of my missions. That's just who I am. So I like to go deep and do deep dives. And I read a lot. I study a lot. I write a lot. So That's all the qualifications I have. And over the past 22 years, I've talked to and interviewed thousands of men and women strictly on sex, love, and relationships, because that's how many people were coming to our shows. Over the past 22 years, it's been thousands. So from Baltimore to Burbank, baby. Tampa, New York. Okay. But like I said, it's not a linear process. Linear means that there are basic steps. Like even Alcoholics Anonymous and I think NA, I think they have a 12-step program. I'm not sure what the steps are. But they'll break them down to you. They'll talk about the steps. They'll talk about the path they take. But this is the path we use to try to help people get on point. But when you're doing your personal healing, there's no, okay, these things you do and you'll be fine. I remember talking to my godmother one time, talking about heartache I was going through. I was like, what do you do for this? You went through, she was like, Tylenol and prayer. Emotional hurt affects your physical body as well as your spiritual, but it affects your physical body as well. The pain you feel from heartbreak is real pain. I mentioned this before, the movie, I love romantic comedies, but some people love those deep, hardcore romantic movies. Like The Notebook. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Notebook. But they talk, oh, that movie's so romantic. He's just going back and forth after this girl, all this stuff and all his life. Then she has Alzheimer's or dementia, and he's older and she's older, and she passes away, and he's holding her hand, and he dies with her. Oh, y'all, some of y'all love that, huh? But that's a real thing. How many times have you known an older couple who've been together 50, 60? You know, pray for Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam. You know, his wife just passed away. She was 90. They were married 70 years. 70 years. I'm 51. They married 20 more years I've been on the planet. Love and prayers out to him, because these couples have been married 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years, and someone passes away. That emptiness, that heartbreak is real. I've talked to men and women. That's one of the things that I'm going to do as well. Putting together a book on 40. I want to talk to people who's been married 40 plus years and just get their perspective to help us move forward, especially us that haven't been married. They want to be married. Okay, so it's not a linear process. There's no exact steps that will help you heal from anything. I don't care what it is. If it's, your scars, they leave scars just like physical scars. However, healing from a breakup is not a linear process, like you said, and the timeline depends heavily on some core factors. And Therapy Den had put some of these factors down. Relationship length and depth. The duration and emotional investment in the partnership are major factors. Now, we're not just talking about relationships. Some of you are heartbroken because of something a parent did, a child did, child left, something heartbreak. Some of y'all heartbreak because you lost a job. A dog died. I saw somebody having a whole memorial service for a dog the other day. A whole service. People in the audience, the choir, preacher, everything. Some people are like, that's crazy. Some people on here are like, yeah, I probably would. Probably only need one pallbearer. It's a little dog. Anyway. Relationship length and depth. The duration and emotional investment in the partnership are major factors. While brief flings may only take weeks to get over, recovering from a long-term relationship or marriage can naturally take anywhere from 6 months to multiple years. That's from Therapy Den. Yes. And guess what? This month of June, we're talking about self-love. Let me give you a working definition for self-love as we're talking about healing from heartbreak and how long it may take. Working definition for self-love: an appreciation for oneself that grows from action supporting your physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. Treat yourself with the same compassion, respect, and care you would a close friend. I go a little deeper and say relative. You go even deeper. How about your child? Can you give yourself the same unconditional love you give your child? I believe we talk to others how we talk to ourselves. What happens if you start talking to yourself with that same love and compassion that you do a close friend, a close relative, a loved one, or your child? For those that do. Because some of us talk horribly to our children because we talk horribly to ourselves. You know, that's why self-love is important. And if you go back and watch the YouTubes from the previous episodes of Troy Rawlings Live Morning Edition, we talk about self-love the whole month of June. So got about 15 hours at least for you on there. 15, 16 hours. So one at a time, see it, play it on your way to work, when you're traveling, whatever. It'll help you. All right. So we talk about relationship, length, and depth. These are factors that lean into how long it could take to heal. Because somebody may be hurting right now. It's like, what do I do about this pain? Pain just shows you have a heart. Pain just shows you're living. I wish I could give a solution. But like my godmother said, prayer and Tylenol. I know the president is against Tylenol right now. Not Tylenol, ibuprofen. Prayer and ibuprofen. I think that's what she said. All right. The why and how. Unexpected breakups or endings involving betrayal or trauma bonding generally require more time to process than mutual amicable separations. Hey, what's going on? Rare Cigars, how are you? Welcome to Troy Rawlings Live Morning Edition. We're talking about self-love in the month of June. If you're just tuning in, today we're doing part 3 of healing from a broken heart. How long does it take? How long can it take? We're talking about some of the factors on measuring how long it could take. So if you have an unexpected breakup or ending or betrayal, it's hard. It's harder. The timeline is harder. How much you talk about let me just drop this one in. And we talk about actionable steps. Some people still have to work with, co-parent with, see their ex on a regular basis. That makes it very hard to heal if you're heartbroken. Very hard. The other thing is getting around people that help you dismiss as much friction as it may cause. If you got a friend and they just let you talk about the other person and let you dog the other person and let you continuously go down that path, or y'all don't have anything else to talk about but what this person did and how they did you wrong, it's going to take a long time for you to heal. Make sure you have friends that can give you the right guidance. You dang near gotta have friends that's like, yo, all you can do is pray for them, move on. You know, you moving on with your life, they moving on with theirs. You know, I know. You get that, I know people. I know, but I don't understand why. You never will understand why somebody else does something outside of you. So you are correct. I don't understand why. Why didn't they just? Because they're not you, baby. They're not you. In the arms of an angel. I always feel like that song should come on when I look at the screen. They're not you. They're not you. In the arms. Okay. Got your mirror? You're beautiful, Troy Rawlings. You're doing great today. I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. Great things are happening today. Miracles coming your way. Make sure you get a mirror or go to your mirror and talk to yourself in the mirror positive today. Say, I love you. You looking in there to brush your teeth. Hopefully y'all are brushing your teeth. And if you look around your place and the only mirror you have is in your bathroom, you might want to get some more mirrors. I know some of y'all, just like some people don't have scales because they don't want to see how much they weigh, but then they surprised when the doctor say you're overweight. Oh, wait. When last time you stepped on a scale? Scale? Are you going to repeat everything I say? Say. Get some mirrors around your house. Start looking at yourself and telling yourself you love you right where you at. Okay. If you're going around talking about your ex or the thing that caused you heartbreak or the relative or the child or the dog or whatever it is over and over and over. And sometimes you have to do that to dump and get out. That's why therapy is good, because that person is paid to sit there and be like, that's why therapy is wonderful, because that person would sit there. I had to tell my daughter one day, we were talking, I love you, Zoe. She's 14 now, and we're talking and going back and forth, and thank God for all my friends that have told me and pouring into me about the teenage years. Whew, because that's a whole nother topic. I'll talk about that on the other side. But we were talking, and she was like, Dad, you cut me off. And I know that's something I have to work on. It's hard. I'm good at it at some point, but I have to really, I'm a communicator. I communicate for a living. I write, I communicate. Talking is one form of communication. Ladies, talking is just one form. Stop saying your guy isn't communicating with you because he's not talking to you. If he's in the chair like watching TV, he's like, what's wrong, baby? You're not talking, is it? He is talking. He's either depressed or tired. That's what that looks like. Something's wrong. Fix him a sandwich. He's probably hungry. When's the last time you cooked it? Okay. But she was like, and I started realizing, I said, Zoe, you got to let Dad know. And guys, this may be a conversation for you and your child, or you and your mate, or your men and women. We think about the same things, but we process and communicate things differently. So, and some guys are like this too, so I won't just put it on women. If you're rolling, if you're just and dumping, not too many people can handle that outside of a therapist or a really good friend that doesn't mind just listening and saying, especially if you're talking about the person. So that's called venting. That's not a conversation. That's a monologue. That's venting. So I had to tell my daughter, Babe, you gotta tell me, if you want to vent and just get some stuff off your chest, I will take a pen and a pad and write stuff down. And I've said this to grown folks before. And in my events, I said, but if you want to have a dialogue and you got some questions, that's what I'm taking our conversation for. So sometimes I may interject. I'm not cutting you off in your thought. It's just you said something that struck a nerve, struck a chord, and my memory isn't that great. So, communication skills, different things we need to learn, all of us. I'm trying to be a better listener so I can shut up and not interrupt people. All right, so things that affect the timeline. Relationship length and depth. The why and how of the breakup. Was it hardcore? Was it abrupt? Was it unexpected? Were there traumas, or was it an amicable separation? Even with that, even with two people to the side, it's just not good, because I've been there before too. It's just, we're going in a different direction. We're doing this and you break out and you still brokenhearted. Attachment style. This is a good one. There's a whole book on this. Oh, and that was from Amy Chan, the Why Breakup Boot Camp. Attachment style. Your personal attachment style dictates how you react to loss, with anxious tendencies often making the process more prolonged. Okay, that's from Houston DBT Center. Okay, just looks like a miswrite. Your attachment style dictates how you react to loss. So that's a whole nother thing. So I'll write that down because we can do that. That's a whole book. There's a whole book on attachment styles. But we can talk about that. How you are. You hear people say stuff a lot like, when I love hard. Does that mean hard as in it's hard for the person to love you? Or does that mean you're saying you love with your whole heart? I love all in, wholehearted, da-da-da. It's funny when I hear people say that. They say it sometimes as if it's a negative thing because they don't get the same reciprocity. While we look for reciprocity in relationships and friendships and certain things, love is not indicative of the reciprocity. Your choice of who to love is, but loving is not indicative of you getting the same thing back. People are usually not going to love the way you love or I love, or it's different. Those differences are the things that make us human and that make people want to attach to different people. You have some things in common, some things. I look at certain couples, I'm like, y'all always bickering, or how do y'all get along? How does that? And they've been together for decades, but that works for them. And they build. I don't know, it's different for everybody. I think it changes when you get older too. your tolerance. All right, attachment style. Actionable steps to aid healing. Let's get to that. Set boundaries. Limit or completely cut off contact with your ex, including on social media, to allow your brain to detach and recover. Now, we're talking about ex in this. We're not talking about family. Sometimes you have to do it with your family. Your children, people with older children who have like addictions and stuff. Sometimes you have to do it with older. I don't believe in with minors. I believe you gotta just be in there because they need help. Our minors need help. Our teenagers need us. Listen, fathers, mothers, our teenagers need both parents. If the parents are actively trying to be involved in your children's life, please, for God's sake, make sure both parents are involved. Especially if this parent is a good parent. They have to be involved. Our teenagers need us. Our children need us. Our 20-somethings need us. Shoot, our 30-somethings need us. So the most well-rounded people I know still have a great relationship with their parents. And as their parents get into their older years, because like my man Dion Cole said, he was talking about from his mother passing, how effective, when you get into your 50s, you get to that point usually when your parents are much older. And some of our parents have passed away. Both of my mother and father are gone. My mother passed in 2020. My father passed in 2010. You feel a mantle shift. My mother, me and her had such a good relationship, talked so much, and I'm at peace with my mother. I don't even know all the things that was during pandemic. It was a crazy time, but I'm at peace with my mother leaving here. I watched her live 3 full lives. I mean, it's crazy. My father still hurts, and that was 2010. I could think about my father. I could have a dream about my father and wake up in tears, and that was 16 years ago he passed, because I felt like I was just getting to know certain parts of him, but I felt like they said, acute leukemia, got the diagnosis. Thank God I interviewed my father for 2 hours and got to know the man a bit more and listen to his side of things. No judgment, just sitting there having a conversation. He was at Veterans Hospital, sound mind. He was just figuring he was there doing the rest of the checkups and all the things. And within 3 months, maybe 2 to 3 months of that, me sitting down with him, he was gone. Unexpected heartbreak, unexpected loss, where you think you have more time in the relationship, can affect different types of heartbreak. Set boundaries. Okay, if you got an ex, you got to cut them off. You got to pull away. Now, here's the hard part. If you have an ex and you have children with them, and the person is a good parent, you're going to have to interact with this person because y'all made a commitment, and now y'all family. Y'all got a child. Y'all family through that child. The child needs both parents. Find a way to communicate, and that takes a lot of work. That's a whole nother thing that we'll get into down the road of this next year. But this is one of the reasons, like I said, I'm doing these, talking to y'all and doing these lives and recording it and putting it on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook, because these are things that help me daily. Not only stuff I had to get over, stuff I'm going through now. Helps me daily in the grace of God, in my faith. And y'all not gonna have me getting emotional on here, which is nothing wrong with that. If I start breaking down and crying and losing it and snot, another thing is, I just can't. We ain't gonna do that. Now while I have a good cup of coffee. And thank you to all of y'all that let me know that you're watching them. Hey, Von Darcel, how are you? So, if you're just tuning in, welcome to Rawlings Live, morning edition. The whole month of June, we're talking about self-love, but this whole year, next 52 weeks, we're talking about love. One of my missions is to help men and women communicate better in love. So we're talking about love, not the battle with sex is bullshit, not the battle with sex is BS. We're talking about love in all aspects. In the month of June, we're talking about self-love. Today, we're talking about how long it takes to heal from heartbreak. This is part 3. You can go back and watch the other ones. Actionable steps, set boundaries, limit or completely cut off contact with your ex, unless you can't. Sometimes you can't. But you need a purging to get your head to focus, because heartbreak, whoo. Focus on yourself. Redirect your energy into rebuilding your own identity outside of the relationship. Now, mind you, like I said, this happens a lot with empty nesters. Kids going off to college, or the teenager that's beefing with you, and you're like, yo, I'm just trying to raise my kid the best I know how. What is going on? Let alone any kind of interference from a parent or anything like that. You just like, what is happening? Thank God for the wisdom of friends who have children and daughters and sons, and they can guide you through and saying, I used to just laugh about them and say, oh, wait till they get to this age, wait till they get that age. And then you're like, what is going on in it? And they sitting there like, I told you. It's the hormones and puberty and this, and they trying to figure out this. Don't worry, they come back around. I'm like, God. But it can be heartbreaking when you're going through this. It can be heartbreaking for the parent who they're looking at their child's room and the child has gone off to college. The child who was in college, who would come home on a regular basis, now working a job in another city. And they call you and say, Mom, Dad, I met this wonderful guy, or I met this wonderful girl. I want to bring her to meet you. And they get engaged. And then they move levels of life. Like I said, the most well-rounded people I see who have issues too, still have a great relationship with their parents. That's just that side. But if we're talking about a relationship piece, who were you to the woman, to the man? I have friends, there's something in our 50-somethings, we got a whole nother level, because we're at an age where our kids are getting older. If you had kids if you had kids older, they're getting older. If you had kids, some 50-somethings got 30-somethings, so y'all got grown folk kids. But 50 is a wild age. 50 to me is really middle age now, because 50, the parents are getting older, or they are gone. The kids are getting older, and they're kind of gone. And if you had a relationship with somebody for 20, 30 years, 10 years, and then y'all can't handle the flow of change, because the marriage vows are indicative of change, because the only thing that's inevitable is change. So if you say, oh, they changed, they supposed to, we all supposed to change. So if you can't handle the changes a person's going to go through, you're going to have a hard time in a relationship, period, with anybody. Friendships work, I realize, because we allow our friends to be who they are. But we get into relationships sometimes and we don't. Don Miguel Ruiz? Am I? There's a book called The Mastery of Love. And I love. Oh, it's down. Okay, sorry. Can't get there. I'll look it up, but I think it's the same person who did the 4 Agreements. I want to say Don Miguel Ruiz. Am I saying his name? Don Ruiz? Mastery of Love. Forget his name right now. But it's so funny because he talks so plainly about, you don't buy a dog and want it to be a horse. Why did you get with this person? You want them, to be something they're not. I was like, that's simple. Did he call her a dog or a horse? Sorry. Okay. Actionable steps. Set boundaries. Focus on yourself. Empty nesters. 25-year marriage. Gone. Who are you? Some of you, your whole identity was in the relationship with your person, with your child, with your parents, with your dog, with your cat, with that job. My daughter was born entertainment, marketing, promotion. I'm a media person, all this stuff. And I looked at her when she was born and said, what was I doing before you? And there it began. What was I doing before you? So all of the isms, schisms, all the issues you have as a person, hey, what's going on? All the issues you have as a person, all of a sudden, you're focused in on a life outside of your own. What happens when that person, that child graduates high school and college and moves? What happens when the relationship, 25-year relationship or marriage, breaks up and you're going, who are you? You got to get back. You hear women talk about it all the time. Guys don't talk so much about it. Guys, I'm giving you a chance to talk about it, learn about it, talk about it, sessions, whatever. we're getting a lot better as men communicating with other men about stuff. And I believe all men should have some guys they communicate with. All women should have some women they communicate with. I know, sister, your bestie is a guy. I know, brother, your bestie is a female. We need men need men, women need women, because there's certain things we can relate to each other about. It is necessary. Even if it's a group of men or women you don't know and you can just dump. It's necessary. Therapist, otherwise, whatever. And lean on your support system. So actionable steps, set boundaries, focus on yourself, and lean on your support system. Spend time with friends and family who you have good relationships with, not the ones that's always gossiping, and not them. Or utilize platforms like Grow Therapy to connect with a therapist who can provide professional guidance. That's from Kevin Tsai. Okay? That was part 3, y'all. I said I was going to try and make it quick, short, sweet. 3 parts. Healing from a broken heart. How to heal from a broken heart. And today we talked about how long it can take and some of the steps you can help and some of the factors that talk about love. But all of this is about self-love in the month of June. I'll be back with you tomorrow. We're going to talk some more. You want to listen to me talk? I'm going to see comments every now and then. The comments were going in and out, so I don't know. But share this with somebody. The YouTube link will be up. This will be on the Instagram. If you DM me here and let me know that you tuned in, I'll send you a copy of the ebook, Butt Naked Honest Conversational Foreplay for Dating, Asking the Hard Questions Up Front. That's a long title, ain't it? It's like levels to the titles. But that's the first book in the Butt Naked Honest series. So, and it's for everybody. Married, unmarried, single, it's for everybody. You'll find some good stuff in there. But thank y'all for taking time out with me. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. God bless. One love. Peace. Have a great day.